Hello, everybody, this is Purge bringing you guys a replay commentary. Not a replay commentary, sorry. Replay coaching is what I'm doing for the Tidehunter here. He signed up on my website. You can go to purgegamers.true.io and click the coaching tab, then sign in through Steam, or you can go to coaching.purgegamers.com to sign up. Up to you guys which path you take. This was signed up for by David. Your current MMR is 2530. Excuse me. And your comments are... Obviously, I'm really low MMR, so I think I'd love for you to just look at some games and tell me some really glaring issues I can use to improve my game. Lately, I've been trying to play the support role in the hopes of climbing out of the 2k trench, but I'm struggling to climb even when I feel like I'm having a good game. Honestly, I'm getting pretty worn out on the game. I watch your vids regularly and go back to playing with renewed vigor. I look at your vids and I learn from them, but it doesn't seem to actually make a difference. I think maybe your game sense is off or something. Thanks for the help. Okay. Well, hopefully we can take a look at some of that stuff. My initial guess would be that you probably know approximately what you do, but you're not doing it consistently. And that kind of stuff really affects whether or not you're going to win. First things first, and your comments on this game. Played offlane Tide. You thought you played it relatively well, and the support silencer left the lane with the morph. I struggled to coordinate my team and get them to push towers. We won a lot early fights, but couldn't convert that into objectives due to people doing their own thing. Eventually, the Legion and Morph seemed to start steamrolling us despite all the disable on our team. Okay, so first things first, your starting item builds are a bit wacky. I would also say that placing your ward there is a little bit rough. What you need to do is go into the menu and go to the options, and you need to turn on holding Alt shows neutral spawn boxes. That's very important because the place you place your ward right off the bat was not very good. If I hold Alt here, we have to press play to do this. It does, like, this is within the block spot or whatever, and it maybe could be hidden, I guess. Maybe people won't find it. I don't know if that's your point or not, but I kind of feel like this could have been done with a sentry. It is going to block. They've, yeah, and they don't have sentries. That's alright. Arguably, you know, somewhere over here is usually better, but maybe just a bit of a nitpick here. Also, who bought the courier? Was this you? It was not. Oh, I guess you have a lot of money in the bank. 2 tangos is okay. Most Tides do go for Iron Talon level 1, just for the purpose of it giving them some ability to jungle. I would say at your MMR, you can definitely just try to abuse people in the lane, which Orb of Venom is good for that. But you already messed up here. The major thing that you messed up is you right-clicked a hero when you didn't need to. See, when you right-click heroes, the creeps will aggro, and that's exactly what's happening right here. Let's go back again. Sorry about that. Orb of Venom, and then we get here. We're going to slow it down. Watch the creeps, slapping creeps, and boom, right-click. Look at all the creeps. They instantly turn and hit you, and all of a sudden you're getting hit by 4 creeps and a Morphling. And yeah, you anchor smash them and reduce their damage by 45%, which is going to stop the majority of this. But you didn't need to aggro it right away. And so what you should be doing instead usually is doing a mix of this harassing, but usually in the hopes of also getting last hits. So like all you did by doing this is pushing the lane basically, because these 4 creeps are first of all hitting you, so they're not hitting your creeps, which means their creeps are going to die first, which is kind of good because it gives you a level advantage temporarily, but in reality, it's also going to mean that with the wave pushing, you get less experience. What are the other negatives? You're taking too much damage, obviously, and that's going to cost you tangos. Like, during this whole time period, look how much damage they just did to you. That was like 300 damage or something, and all you did to them was 150. You traded their 1 tango for your 3 tangos. It's absolutely not worth it. So what you did there was incorrect. Now, playing against a silencer is tough because he can attack you for free using this skill. If he activates it, the creeps don't aggro to him, so he's usually going to have an advantage over you. But now, because you're low HP, you're not even getting last hits. Like, 3 creeps have already died and you have 0 last hits. You're already losing this lane. This guy also doesn't have last hits because you scared him or whatever, but you have 0 last hits. Like, the Orb of Venom is a good pickup if you're going to use it to pressure. So I would say Orb of Venom would be good if it was like you and Silencer over here battling for trading. Then it's good because then you get a movement speed advantage over him. But right now, I don't really feel like it was very worth it. What you should have done instead when approaching this lane, if you want to get Orb of Venom, that's okay. But what you should do is play around your creep wave a little bit, wait until the creeps get low, and then you move forward to last hit or deny. Whether by using Anchor Smash on the Morphling right when he's about to try to last hit, so that his base damage is reduced and he maybe misses it, or you just attack it automatically. Like, that was the last hit right there that you could have gotten. You slapped this guy twice, but again, it keeps causing aggro, and now your HP's so low that you don't feel comfortable coming up to get last hits. So you basically zoned yourself just because you were aggressive in that moment. You were aggressive at the wrong time. And you even missed that last hit. Like, you did get level 2 out of this, despite the 1 deny, but it was so expensive for you to even get to that point. And see, yeah, he can just easily use glaives to not aggro creeps. And you push the wave, which means that not only is the wave not under your tower, but it's also more likely to be under their tower. And you already screwed yourself by losing an HP trade right off the bat. You still have 0 last hits. Like, yes, you can get experience, like you're getting experience here, but it's also about last hits as well. Arguably a little bit more about last hits in a lane where you should be able to contest. I think this is one lane where you could do that. It's a little hard, but I think you could do it. Looks like you're going to do a side pull here, which is good. Okay, that was really well done. You were able to get it stacked. I think stacking waves is all right for you. You did miss that last hit again. We are 2 minutes in, you have 0 last hits. Like, why use Anchor Smash there? That's your mana, man. At this point, creeps don't do that much damage. If you use Anchor Smash, they pretty much do nothing. Because Kraken blocks 12. The melee creeps are hitting you for about... whatever, 8, it's... oh my god, I'm bad at math today. 12 plus 9 is 20, so it's 12. Yeah, basically all of these creeps do 0 damage to you. Even the range creep do like maximum 1 damage. So once you get 1 Kraken Shell and you Anchor Smash the creep waves, then the creeps do no damage. But you anchored here because you thought you might hit the Morphling and he just juked you. So you can play around that. Press Anchor Smash, then immediately press S, the stop key. And by doing that, you'll start your animation, Morphling will walk away, and you won't actually cast it. You haven't wasted your mana, you haven't nuked these creeps for no reason. Like, you gotta make sure your mana goes as far as possible, and that goes for your HP regen. That's literally what you haven't done this game, is make your regen go far, and make your mana go far. Like, even last hitting against this guy hasn't been good. Like, you've got 1 last hit, and he has a total of 8 already. Like, the harass you've done is almost nothing. The gold you've gained for yourself is almost nothing. You have equivalent farm to a Rubik right now. The only major difference is that you have way more levels because you've been solo. You also spent your first bit of gold on a magic stick. Why buy a magic stick against a Morphling? Like, he's not going to cast any spells on you. The only spells he's going to cast is maybe waveform, because almost all Morphlings will go 4-0-4 early game. So your magic stick is actually completely useless. It doesn't give you a magic stick even for Silencer, Glaives. It doesn't give you a magic stick for Last Word. It gives you it for Last Word or Curse the Silent, but he's not even in your lane anymore. This is a waste. What you need to do as a Tidehunter is you need to get to Arcane Boots rapidly. And because once you get Arcane Boots, then you can cast Anchor Smash more often. Or you could have spent this money on Boots of Speed, for example. These two together, Boots of Speed plus 75 gold. And then with that extra movement speed, you can get closer to the Morphling and try to minimize his advantage of having ranged over you. Like, this is relatively okay because you're trading with him. Alright, this is not good. You can't get hit by a tower that much. I feel like you're going to die now. So let me show you what you did wrong. I kind of like that you're trading with him this much. Again, that option I showed you, here's the tower range, you can hold alt for it. So basically, as soon as you walked a little bit closer, like right here, this is where you messed up, because the tower's already starting to hit you. So all these creeps are doing no damage, and Morphling's doing less damage, much less by the way, because he's only hitting you for like 30, about 30 damage, but you block 12 of it, so he's only hitting for you about 24. But as soon as you get under tower range, you made a huge mistake here. In fact, I think you might have been able to kill him if you just stayed in the creep wave. If you walked out of the tower range and you just anchor smashed again, I guess you had a little bit of time. Like, honestly, I think you could have maybe stayed right here. I think I would have ran as well. But he's only doing about 15 damage to you, which means that as he waveformed through, you would have 80 HP. You could have kept hitting him right here with your creep slapping him as well, because all your creeps would have been hitting him, all these red ones. And then when you used your next Anchor Smash, you would have gotten like 3 last hits. Almost 4. And you would have kept reducing his damage. Like, I actually think you could have killed him, maybe. Until he gets his next waveform, and then he kills you. So yeah, if you just kept slapping him there, I think you could have gotten him. But see, by the time you juked over here, you gave him another waveform. So basically, you just completely messed up because you let him kill you. He got to use all of his mana to get a kill, and now he's going to have his Akala, which means more mana regen. You also spent your money on a TP scroll. There's not really a reason to do that. And now you upgraded to a magic wand. You've basically used the first 420. How much does this cost right now? 465. You've spent your first like 600 plus 75 gold in the whole game. Am I doing the math right? 465, 665 plus 75. It's like 730 gold on these 2 items. You don't have boots. You don't have a quelling blade, you don't have an armor piece, you literally just have a magic wand. And magic wand is not what Tide needs in the laning stage unless he's laning against a Zeus or a Batrider. Those are like maybe the only two cases where I think this is justified. Like, your build is already off to the wrong start, and you've been laning very poorly against this guy. He's got 13 last hits to your 5. Like, you have to think of the offlane in some situations, like you're playing a 1v1 mid. How many last hits is he getting? How many last hits are you getting? And because the silencer left, you have to crush this guy. And you should, because Tide's hard to kill. He has a pretty good animation with his attack. He's got very good survivability due to Kraken Shell and minus damage from Anchor Smash, especially because you can't put it on him. And this guy doesn't have easy ways to harass you because his mana cost on waveform is so high. So you should be getting most of the last hits here. He does have higher base damage if he morphs, but you've also got Anchor Smash. Like, you shouldn't be letting this guy get more last hits than you. You should get pretty much almost every last hit in your lane. Like, it's kind of good that you're trading hits with him here, just because you do have Orb of Venom still, but again, this could be Brown Boots. Like, this is a freaking magic wand. It's 465. You could have Brown Boots and a magic stick for only a mere 135 more gold. That's it, and that would be way better than what you have with full magic wand. You're never going to get to 15 charges, and until it gets there, you just have basically a bracer. And again, you're missing easy last hits here, and you're not playing your lane correctly. That was 2 last hits that you just missed, and the catapult now. Like, you cannot miss last hits. It is super important, and now you're still not buying boots. Like, movement speed is a huge advantage in the lane stage, and look where the lane has been all game. It's been right in front of the tower. This is not safe. This doesn't give you the ability to chase this guy down. It actually limits your ability to use Orb of Venom. You want, like, Orb of Venom does work when it takes a long time for somebody to run to base. If the creep wave was like here, then Orb of Venom is really good. So what you should try to do is you should try to limit the amount of Anchor Smashes you even cast in the laning stage, because by doing that, it ensures that your the wave doesn't push as often. And this is kind of good. You're putting some pressure on and stuff. Like, I'm happy with how much you're pressuring here, but now he's actually faster than you when not hit by Orb of Venom. And now you even lose that Orb of Venom advantage. I kind of like this. If you don't, okay, if you don't miss any last hits here, this is all right. Okay. All right, that was all right. That was okay. I kind of like that. That was cool. You got a full creep wave of farm, and you got an ancient, and you got a neutral camp, and you hit 6 faster than the Morphling now. Well, he beat you too because he killed you, and now you're kind of catching up in last hits. But you needed to farm from like this from the start, and the difference is that you're now basically farming by auto attacking, and you got a little lucky on some of these, and with Anchor Smash by spamming Anchor Smash. But you need to get better at last hitting without using skills. That is your biggest loss right now. Like, the best way to practice this, in my opinion, is to lane against somebody that's around your skill level, like a friend of yours, and you guys try to just play against each other with maybe the same hero and without using any spells. You just see who does better. You can use items, but you can't use any spells. That's the best way to get good at that stuff. And then eventually, once you feel like you really are good at last hitting and mixing that in with harass of your opponents, then you can do the same thing with the same heroes, but you can both use skills. This is very unlikely kill. Especially because you kept attacking. Again, most of your damage is coming from Anchor Smash, and this is also another huge issue with you getting Kraken Shell. It's absolutely not worth it for you to get 3 points in Kraken Shell because you're in a 1v1 lane. 2 points is more than enough in my opinion. You need something that helps you farm better and helps you get more kills. Like, even getting 1 more point in Kraken Shell ensures that you have an extra 5% damage reduction. So if this guy hits for 80, 5% of that is going to be 4. So that means getting an extra Kraken Shell blocks 12 damage, but with more Anchor, it would do 4 more damage block, or 4 more damage resistance, or reduction. But you'd also do 50 damage more every Anchor Smash. That's a huge, huge damage increase to go from 125 to 175. And the cooldown reduces as well. I have a feeling that the reason you don't max it out is most likely because of the fact that you don't get Arcanes very fast, so you run out of mana faster. But I don't think that should matter. Now, you did an okay job trying to play around him here, but I think you did a couple things sloppy. First of all, you wasted some of your mana, or you wasted some of your time. Let me show you how you should have done this. Alright, you did an Anchor Smash here, that's cool. You slapped him once, he ran to chase you, and now you basically said, I could maybe kill him. So the first issue is you walked past him just to cast Anchor Smash. You could have slapped him here, used Anchor Smash, and slapped him again. Like, basically, for you to kill this guy, you have to Ravage him and kill him while he's still Ravaged. Because if you don't do it correctly, he can waveform away, or he can waveform into the trees or something where you're just not going to catch him. So you already missed one auto attack here. You used Anchor Smash, and then you instantly cast a Ravage. What this could have been instead, and you also now turned around, by the way, to cast Ravage, which took longer. You could have Ravaged facing this way, and then you wouldn't have wasted the time of you turning around just to cast Ravage. So you basically walked past him without attacking him once. Then you cast Anchor Smash. Then you turned around and cast Ravage. And now you're going to have to turn around again and then try to kill him. You basically are turning around twice for no reason here. Maximum you should turn one time. And you should also be playing off of your animations. Your attack animations, when they go off and your attack lands, your hero has to wait until the next time point when it's time for them to attack. So for example, for you on Tide here, you can attack once every 1.34 seconds. So once you attack, you have nothing to do until your next attack is up 1.34 seconds later. So that means that what you should do is you should attack. What you should have done originally is, I'll show the exact moment, and so this is where you came forward. All right, right here. Attacked, casted Anchor Smash. You should be standing here still, by the way. Maybe attack again. He did a short range waveform. Attack a second time because he wasted his waveform. And then you Ravage. So you would have all of this damage done as you've done now, but with 2 more right clicks and with Orb of Venom damage being done during this time period. Like Ravage, like you have to kill this guy basically when Ravage hits and you immediately cast Anchor Smash afterwards. You have to burst him because if this guy's bad, what he'll do is not morph until it's too late. And in this guy's case, he's probably not going to die because he's going to start morphing right now and he's got 150 HP. There's no way that you can burst through this right now. Like you just casted both your spells one after another. And if that's what it's like, then you have no ability to kill him. Like I guarantee that this guy lives. And that's even without the Prophet. Like you did a pretty good job attack moving here. He didn't even start morphing. And he clearly knows how to do it, but he knew that he was so safe that he didn't even have to. So if you just would have done the same thing you just did, but also did it better, then he would have had to spend more mana morphing, which means less mana waveforming you later. And you trading with this Prophet is great and all because he doesn't do any damage now. Because you're damage blocking like the huge majority of his right click, but this could have gone better and you didn't have to use Ravage to do it. And what you could have done is maybe communicate with your team and be like, hey guys, I have Ravage bottom. If I get like one more nuke down here, we can kill. Like even somebody like Rubik could have changed things. If you had 3 points in Anchor Smash instead of 2 and Rubik comes down, you could just kill Morph right there. And you can't give up that best skill in your toolkit just to trade that weakly, in my opinion. I do like the fast infused raindrop. I think this is very smart for your laning stage, but in all reality, an Arcane Boots is usually better. This is very good this game though because almost all of Morphling's damage is in one skill, so you can block a huge amount of his waveform every time it's up. But generally, definitely Arcane Boots is usually better. Right here as well, you're walking past creeps to turn around then to last hit them. It's causing you to be a little bit more delayed. Same here as well. You're standing so far away before you need to get ready to last hit that you have to turn and then walk to the creep before going for the last hit. You got this one, but it's a really bad habit. Like, see how far you're moving? And now Morphling wants to kill you because you're pretty low HP. But you still don't have any regen, by the way. Oh, this is... You really can't tank tower. Like, this is the biggest way. This is the best way for you to get killed. Oh, you did that backwards. Gush him. Gush him. Okay. That was really, really dangerous. Okay, so I'm guessing what you did was... No, you had this. Alright. This does physical damage. That means that if you gush somebody and reduce his armor by 3, that this will do more damage. So if you're like in this living or die situation like this, in some ways it was good that you anchored first because then it reduced the damage that he did while he right clicked. But if you just use gush right now, this guy dies almost. If you what I would have done in this case is gush anchor. Like even tanking this many tower hits was pretty crazy to be honest. But, I don't know, you could have gushed this whole time. You even skilled it up right before you killed him. Maybe you're flustered or whatever. This guy should kill you because you don't have Anchor Smash, yeah. But definitely max Anchor Smash. It would be better here than 3 points in Kraken. Like, getting a Gush, if you're in a 1v1 matchup like this, which you basically were all game, I think 1 point in Gush is fine. You could even go like 1-1-3 if you want. If you get a fast Arcane Boots and you outlast hit this guy, you can definitely outplay him. And it also really helps with your burst for the reason that... with just Ravage and Anchor Smash, your damage is a little predictable. But having Gush on top of that kind of changes everything. Because like I said, Gush increases your Anchor Smash damage by a huge amount. -3 armor is like an 18% damage increase against physical. That's huge. So Gush into Anchor, into Ravage, into Anchor again would be the best thing that you could do, really. And getting that cooldown lower by maxing out Anchor Smash faster is a good way to do that. Now, let's go back and see what you're looking at when you decided to TP mid, because I've been mostly watching this game from player perspective. or from free camera. Alright, you see the dual mid, you start TPing. But what are you going to do here? Like, are you really going to help him not die? If you don't stun this guy, I don't think it's going to happen, personally. You also could have been right-clicking this whole time. It looked like you wanted to kill the Jug, maybe, because he was lower, but... then you changed your mind, kind of. Again, Gush first. No reason not to. It would do more damage. Like, you can bully these guys really well, and that's cool and all, but... you TP in there, I think it was a little ineffective. I think you could have gone to the safe lane instead. Like, let's see what Morphling has for HP right now. He doesn't have any. I mean, he's full, but he doesn't have any regen, which means that you can go to the lane again and pressure him. Especially with your raindrop that guarantees 3 damage blocks against his magic nukes once again. And I'm guessing you're staying mid because you're very close to arcane mana. I think you missed that last hit, and I don't think you really needed to. Again, if you had arcane boots right now, you could maybe kill this guy. You genuinely could. But again, you bought all these other items to get here. This could have just been a magic stick. And a magic stick alone is fine. But you delayed the item that actually makes your laning stage really good. Alright, so you're smoking here to go for a gank. This is kind of cool. You're already messing it up though because... okay, you did turn around good. I generally recommend smoking with somebody else, not just doing this solo smoke kind of thing. This shouldn't take Ravage. Hope you don't Ravage this. Okay, good, you didn't use it. This is where things get a little tough. That was a little unfortunate. Let me see if you could have done that better. Okay, so the problem is that that thing hit you. The silencer spell hit you right when you were about to anchor smash, and if you did get the anchor smash off, you would have taken 55% less damage from the Legion. Although in his defense, he's already hitting for 200%. So I am unsure. I don't think I would have ran up to him so happily. Oh, you're actually trying to Ravage here. I'm not sold on a Ravage either. You definitely could have Ravaged here at the end though. And I think if I were you, I would have been spamming it. Especially because by the time your duel was almost done, that this guy's in the area and he was fairly low. Even if he spins it, I think it's worth it because it would have hit this guy. You 100% could have. If you were able to walk from there to there, I think you would have been able to get the Ravage off. But what I would have done is as he was coming high ground, I would have used Anchor Smash on him. Just so that his damage is reduced by 55% for 6 seconds. If he does duel you at that point, you'd probably be in a pretty good spot. Now you're TPing in the top lane. But why? You're like looking bottom, you're looking at jungle, and then you just TP top. Like you TP top because you see heroes there, I'm guessing. But now they know you're here because you TP'd right where the creeps were. So if you want to go top and fight, what you should do instead is TP to like the tier 2 and then approach up with the axe. Maybe with a smoke. But because you just walk straight at them like this... okay, that actually did hit. I'm really surprised, but... okay, it worked out, you got a kill, but that was so sloppy. The fact that you even hit him with the Ravage was so low chance. This is a good dive. I like this. Like, you're doing a good job moving around and being aggressive in your gank movements, but your laning was pretty rough. I would say your laning was genuinely bad. Especially the first, like, 4 minutes, it was really bad. And I'm not trying to understate this or anything. That's easily the part you need to work on. Your laning was really bad. And then when you did the pull in the large camp and you got all the last hits, that was great. The only reason I doubted that is because I didn't think you were going to get all the last hits. But you did get all the last hits, so it's cool. Oh, he has an SP. Okay. But yeah, work on your laning definitely. Because it kind of seems like you going places, like you're making decent fights. Like you're doing smart mechanics things. You're dropping items. I don't much like your smoke here. I think I would have preferred you walking because you don't have Ravage yet. So yes, you're going to get here faster, but you're also kind of wasting a smoke. Like, you're not going to have Ravage for a long time. I think you kill... again, Gush first, then Anchor. And... okay. You know, I'm actually really liking your Orb of Venom now. You're using it really well in these ganks and stuff. I think it's paying off big time for the way that you like playing, which is clearly moving around. Right here again, you had Gush up, and then you Anchor Smashed first. Could have done more damage. I would... okay, I would Ravage now. As soon as that sentry got... you already missed your opportunity, but as soon as the sentry got placed, you should Ravage. When he goes Invis, it's a little tough. Right here. As soon as that sentry gets placed, you drop the Ravage. 2 heroes, I think, is definitely worth it. It's a little iffy because your Quap has no mana. Do you have Arcanes? You do have 5. I don't know. It's a little tough. I would have Ravaged that guy, though. Just you 3 right-clicking, I think would have been worth it. And this guy arguably could have given press the attack to somebody. I feel like you're still gonna Ravage here. Ravage now? Definitely Ravage. Okay, there we go. Alright, good anchor. Got the important guys. Okay. Anchor again. Anchor again. Damn it. Okay. Save your ally. Again, you're anchoring into Gush. Always Gush into anchor. Especially if somebody's at full HP. Like, you're doing a pretty good job fighting. Like I said, I would have ravaged the 2 heroes. The ravage you did was pretty much perfect, if not a little delayed. It worked out. I think there's a possibility they might have dueled you first. So that was a little sloppy the way you did it. But as a whole, like, you've been fighting. You've been moving around the map really well. Kind of. It's like when you go somewhere, you're fighting really well. But the way that you got there was greedy, and good players would avoid it. And you're not quite maximizing your skill set, but you're using Orb of Venom really well. Like, it seems like you're attack moving really well. You're really good at attack moving. You're good at item efficiency. But your laning was really below your level. And your... what else? The order that you bought your items in the laning stage was really poor. I think that's what's costing you a lot. And again, you're doing the same thing kind of. You're just kind of forcing your allies to move around constantly. But you're doing it in bad places. Like, you're using smokes, but you're not using them at good places or good times. Like, if they have a tier 1 tower, you do not smoke right here. This is like the most likely place for anybody to have a ward in the whole game. And you just gave your opponents like the most obvious, like, hey, they're going to have a ward here. Where are you even going with the smoke? Like, were you looking? I'm going to look at your player perspective. Let's see where you're thinking. Did you ping anything? I'm not really sure. You grabbed a smoke. You're looking around on the map. You're like, where do I TP? You started TPing, and then I think your monitor resolution is different than mine, which is why your mouse click looked like it was here. Like, it was clicking down here, but really it was mid. So I think you must have a thinner, like a less wide monitor. But you went mid. Now they know you're mid. And they can check your inventory and see if you have a smoke. Like, this is kind of what you did at the top lane as well. And by anchor smashing there, you actually missed one last hit and said you could have gotten both if you just timed it a little bit. And you have 3 heroes mid right now, by the way, which means you guys could just try pressuring this tower. But instead what you did is you smoked your 3 heroes and you roamed into the enemy jungle. Like, it's like you're trying to make shit happen, but you don't know where to go to do it. So you're just smoking and walking places. But it doesn't have very much plan around it, I feel, is part of the issue. And I know that a lot of that, I'm sure, is that your allies don't know what they're doing either. And you are really strong right now. Well, you don't have Ravage, I guess. But this guy has Blink, so that's okay. And Quap obviously has ulti. So I guess playing around that is alright. But did you really just smoke just to wrap around, just to come mid lane? Like, is that... like, what's the point? You guys could have just gotten a high ground ward and seen what was going on and just blinked aggressively. You guys have blink daggers. You're 15 minutes in. This is the 3 heroes with blink, actually. Like, why use your smoke, by the way, and that was your last smoke for 3.5 minutes. Why use your last smoke to smoke here and then end up here? Do you see this distance? This is how far you went. But this was nighttime anyways. After you killed this creep wave, you guys could have just walked here. And nobody would have seen you if they didn't have a ward. If they had a ward, they saw you smoke anyways, and they're fucking confused. Again, anchor smash before Gush. Although arguably he was spun already. Use arcane boots here. I would just pressure this tower. Is what you guys should be doing. But again, you're kind of just aimlessly running around the map fighting. Is what you're doing. And instead what you should be doing is putting some pressure. I get that there's 2 heroes up here. But did you really just need to walk across the whole fucking map? You smoked here. You walked all the way around like this. Killed a man right here. And now you're walking all the way to the top lane. To use spells on one of the guys over here. That you'll maybe kill. Maybe. But you don't have Ravage yet. So is it really worth it for you to walk across the map like this? I don't think so. You could have instead just sat mid. Like, Tide is basically kind of strong without Ravage, but not really. He's much stronger with Ravage. So if you don't have Ravage, what you should do is probably just go do something else in the meantime. Like, sit mid and push mid. Like, because with Arcane Boots, you can farm so rapidly. You've got 36 last hits at 16 minutes. This is awful. Look at your net worth here. You're all the way down here. But Tide is actually one of the fastest farming heroes in the whole game. Just because of the fact that with Anchor Smash and Kraken Shell, you can do Ancient Stacks, you can push waves consistently, you can clear them really rapidly too. As soon as you hit like level, even like level 3, level 5, you can clear waves pretty well. Again, you could have Gushed first, probably. Not sold on that Ravage. It actually worked, but I think it sucked. Let me show you how you should have done this. First of all, you should have Blink Gushed. That should have been the first thing you did. I guess it was still off cooldown, or still on cooldown a little bit, so whatever. Like, you already hit this guy twice, a little bit more than you needed to. Like, the fact that this guy even died to this is amazing. I think the moment you should ravage, if you're going to ravage, is right here. You missed it already. Like, the fact that, like, this should have only hit this guy. The fact that it killed this man is insane. I actually can't believe that happened. But it did work. So you're going to get lucky and get both, I'm assuming. I think you ditched way too early here. Like, you killed the silencer, you should have immediately moved and gone for profit. Instead, you used your anchor smash on the creep wave. It would have been much better if you just turned and used it on profit. Because the lower you get him, the faster he dies. You know? And then your team would have felt the need to escape by the time the jug got there. Like, Ravage hits, you move over here, you use Anchor Smash. Anchor Smash is on cooldown a second earlier than this because you wouldn't have used it on the creeps. Which means that it's up in 3 more seconds. So right here, you would have had another Anchor Smash. You could have Anchor Smash both of these guys. And that would have been your second Anchor Smash on this guy. That's 450 physical damage. He's got pretty high resistance, but that would have done at least like 200. Put him to like here or something. And then maybe your team can go for it if they really want to. Probably not because you're all pretty low anyways, but you kind of just let your team down a little there. This should be a kill, 100%. Again, Gush before Anchor. Wand, and you should have had that kill as well. Gush this guy. Okay, you're a little late on that. You could use Arcane, you could have used Wand, and then Anchored here, and he would have died. Looks like he's going to die anyways, but now both of your heroes had to blink aggressively. Instead of blinking over here. If you just would have killed him right there, if this guy would have kept diving, then he dies right here. And he's probably going to die right here. But he didn't. If these guys didn't have to blink over here, and you would have killed the Jug, you would have killed the Prophet. For any of the reasons. If you would have anchored him at least once in this location, instead of diving to anchor the creep wave. If you would have anchored to kill the Jug, these guys could have instead changed targets to the Prophet right away. But you killed them too slow based on your reactions. Ooh, that's scary. Alright, at this point you should probably go heal, since your HP is so low. I would farm a camp on the way back, probably. Oh wow, you actually saw him TP in. That's interesting. Blink. Ooh, that was really close. I like this. I like that you're messing with him. He could just TP at any moment. I don't know why he doesn't just TP. Okay. Always hold the buckler over the headdress. Always, always. Because it gives you 7 armor. 7 armor on Tide, in my opinion, is way better than having the HP regen and the 2 to all stats. Like, this is only 3 HP per second. If you have a buckler and you're damage blocking 48% or 48 damage from whatever they get through to you, and you're reducing their damage by 60%, and then after they get through the damage reduction and the damage block, all of a sudden you have 14 armor. Like, holy shit, how do they even kill you? That's not 14, it's actually for 13. 13 armor. And here's another inefficiency thing that you're doing farming wise. Look where you anchored. That's 3 creeps. You could have walked here, anchored 4 creeps, and a catapult. Like, you just anchored 2 times, that would have definitely killed the range creep. And the siege creep probably would also be very close to death. Like, you used 3 anchor smashes there, when you only needed 2, and you didn't even get the catapult. Already you just wasted 60 mana. This one you barely got the range creep. Alright, your last hitting this one a little better. Although, instead of walking in a circle, I would have started hitting this creep, the high HP one. Like, you could have gotten all of these creeps. If you're just a little bit more efficient there, you would have had all those creeps. Like, you're 19 minutes in, you have 8 fucking kills, which is amazing. And you've got 3 assists, you've only died 3 times. And you still don't have mech. Like, you should have mech at, like, with a game like this, where you're doing this well, 16 minutes or something would be really good. Pretty reasonable. You maybe could have killed that guy, by the way. Let me see your Blink Dagger cooldown. Okay, yeah, there's no way, because you blinked aggressively. But if you had Blink there, I would have maybe gone for that. You had about 600. It would have been kind of close. Maybe. I think you've done a really good job with the Orb of Venom. Honestly, I think it's fitting your playstyle and everything. I feel like you're going to Ravage this. Which is fine. Maybe. Oh, yeah, you'd have to Ravage there. Kill the Healing Ward. Healing Ward, Healing Ward. Alright, you messed up. Yeah, you can't leave the Healing Ward up. That should have been your first priority. And ravaging that after the duel, I think was too late. If you wanted to ravage that, you should have done it right away. like when the anti-mage is on top. And that's another really important thing for Tide, is that Ravage is not just a stun your opponents, it's also like disable your opponents when your allies are hitting them. Because a lot of problems with heroes like anti-mage is kind of similar to Sven when Sven doesn't have his stun up. It's like people won't stand still and let him just kill them is the problem. So if you have an anti-mage in that case, and you're against a Legion commander, it's already a hard kill anyways because his mana pool is not super high. In this case it kind of is because he has a blade mail. I'm not sure what his int gain is. Shit. 2.2. It's pretty good. But really, the time to Ravage is really when the anti-mage is right on top of him. Because then if you Ravage right there, he's already got minus armor from the Gush, and then you Ravage him, that gives your anti-mage 2.4 seconds to right-click as many times as he can. And he would have gotten probably like 3 or 4 more attacks in. I don't think he would have killed him, honestly. I think you guys should have just backed personally. Also, if you had your mech, if you would have farmed faster this whole game, you would have also had it. What is this? You TP'd, dropped your wand to TP, brought a dust with you. That way you could anticipate the Legion. Maybe. Like holding a dust would have been pretty good too. Also, if you had Buckler in that fight, you could have Bucklered the anti-mage and maybe he would have lived because he would have had 2 more armor. So many things. But really, if you would have had mech there, anti-mage wouldn't have died. 100%. Just anchor that guy. If he comes and spins on you like that, just do damage. Because he's gonna hit you with a spin anyways. Just do the free damage. It's 225 physical. It's not terrible. It's free. Alright, now the game's kind of messed up because you're basically not doing anything coordinated anymore. You're still doing this thing where you just run at people and shit happens and you're using your skills fairly well, but you're not organizing. And you're not quite making good decisions anymore. Because now, basically, people are into the area where just your nukes alone aren't going to be enough to kill them. And that's oftentimes the case for Tidehunter because obviously his nukes are more AoE, long engagement kind of stuff since the cooldowns are fairly low, 12 seconds and 4 seconds. But what basically changes is like the first 20 minutes of a game, everybody's nukes do a huge amount of damage compared to somebody's HP. But at some point, they get enough items where your nukes aren't going to be the only thing that kills them. So for a hero like Tidehunter, you need to start playing around your allies a lot more in between when you're farming. So at this point in the game, your hero's going to fall off. If you play the exact same way you've been playing all game, your hero's going to start sucking really bad. And that's because, number one, you haven't farmed enough in the early to mid game to have enough items so that your team fight, or your small impact, maybe I'll call it small and large impact. I'll think about it later. So basically your impact in little show up fight kind of things is not very strong when Ravage is gone. And that's because you haven't farmed enough. And on top of that, when you actually do get into big engagements, half the time your team isn't even ready to go. So Ravage isn't even going to be as useful anyways. It's like killing all these heroes with just your spells is almost impossible. And Legion's just going to keep doing little ganks like this, where he just turns on Blade Mail and he kills the axe. Like, this is why you're losing the game now, because basically you haven't pressured the map at all. Like, and this goes back to you choosing not to push a tower. Look at all these other lanes. This tower has 400 HP somehow. This has 800 HP. And this one down here has 900. All of their towers have HP. And that's because you guys ran around the map so many times. Like the time that you smoked here and you ran all the way around. Instead, you could have pushed up the lane, maybe tried killing Jug as he walked forward. You killed him eventually, but he basically showed up here after you smoked away, and then you wrapped all the way around to kill him. You could have killed Jug right here, came up and just started slapping the tower. Kill the creep wave with Anchor Smash and just start hitting the tower. And then when the tower dies, everything changes. Because that means that anytime that there's a gank on this part of the map, they don't have an easy way to TP to. But when you leave all their towers up, as soon as they respawn, they're going to TP to a tower. As soon as Legion respawns, he's going to TP to this tower and he's going to walk up and look for a kill over here. But if you kill this tower, then he has to TP to here. And then it takes an extra like 15 seconds for him to walk all the way to here and to Shadow Blade into the jungle. And then with those towers dead, you can put your wards deeper and deeper and deeper, and then they're farther and farther away from Roche. But because you kept running across the map, and usually the entire map, especially after the Jug kill that you then walked all the way top to get a kill, that was not very efficient. You guys are losing a lot of time. Like every second that your heroes are not doing something, even if eventually you get a kill, it's very inefficient. It's better for you guys to kill the Jug mid, take the tower or pressure it heavily. Oh, there's people top, back up so they don't see you going, TP to the top lane, blink aggressively and get a double kill. That's way faster than you walking around for 20 seconds, getting a kill, then walking top for 30 seconds. You could instead just kill the Jug after 10 seconds of battling or something, and then back up, TP to the top lane while 2 of your heroes push this tower or something. I don't know. So you guys are losing all this tower advantage, and without the tower advantage, I mean, look at the graph. You guys were doing just fine, and you were getting a lot of kills. And then all of a sudden, everybody just kept dying, and that's because they have better gank heroes, pretty much. Legion Commander, it's easy mode. You press Shadow Blade, you press the attack, you turn on your Blade Mill, and you duel somebody, and they die. Like, for you guys to get kills, Axe has to blink, call people near creep waves, and you haven't really, I don't know, I feel like your team hasn't been doing that much. At least from your perspective, from you watching your game, you just run across the map whenever you see something happening. And we can maybe blame Queen of Pain or whatever, but basically, you 4 heroes should be 4-manning around the map, just taking fights constantly, and Anti-Mage should be AFK farming, ideally. But it's not even a good game for that. They have counters to that with Silencer and with Legion, basically, and arguably with Prophet as well. Like, these guys all out-farmed you. You basically just ran around the map fighting, but look at these CS values. 133, 116, 104, 102, and you guys have 67, 53, 34. Like, if we add up all these CS together, like, your Axe does have the highest, but you guys are way behind in terms of last hits. Look at the numbers together. Like, they have way more last hits than you guys do, so farm level alone, I'm sure they're ahead. And they have more towers, by the way. They've gotten 3 of your towers. You've gotten 0 of their towers. So their last hits are more than you, and they have more towers, and they have equal kills. You guys are messing up. And they have Midases, I believe. Nature's Prophet has a Midas, and Legion does not. So they should accelerate faster, and they have better late game scaling heroes. Like, by all means, like, your early roaming was pretty good, but it wasn't good enough to justify it. Like, you're getting a super late mech. A super, super late mech. 25 minutes is not okay for a mech. That also could have been a kill, maybe. If you time that perfectly. Let's look at it again. Okay, so Morphling shows up. What do? You blinked aggressively, you instantly started casting spells. Instead, you could try to organize with the Quap a little bit. Back up before he sees you on the creep wave, and say, like, I'm going to blink and break Lincolns, then you Orchid, okay? And if you guys just do that, if you Orchid him before he starts casting Morph, then you kill him. You'd have to Ravage, of course, but I think that's worth it in a game like this where you're behind. Like, he eventually does blink, but by the time he Orchids, the Morph is so far away. You just didn't organize that with your team. That was good. This would be... I would have Ravaged there. Alright, now your Ravage is really good. You're going to get dueled now. I probably would have ran a little bit more. I don't think you ran nearly enough. Because I could read that that was going to happen. Basically, as soon as your Ravage was finished, what you should have done here, Anchor Smash these 2, and then run to the bottom right. Because the hero you should be worried about is getting dueled by the Legion. I don't even think you hit the Legion with your Anchor Smash. Did you? Looks like maybe you did. Okay, I want to look one more time. I want to see if your HP went down, because I really felt like you were kind of far away. Okay, he did get you, or you did get him. But running left was absolutely not the right move. I think you ran left because the Jug was over here, but you should have figured that out as soon as you Ravaged, that the problem hero is the Legion. Like, you staying around like this just got you killed. Like, he does so much damage, and you don't have mech yet. You can't handle that. And if you just would have ran to the bottom right, maybe the Legion wouldn't have gotten killed or something, but I think that's better than you dying. You're very close to mech, but you really should have had this so much longer ago. If you had mech in that fight, maybe you don't die. If you had Buckler in that fight, you probably wouldn't die. 7 armor is so much, my god. You should have had this Buckler all game, man. Should have been the first item you buy, Chainmail. Finish Buckler, finish Headdress, then make mech. This guy's gonna die too. Alright, now you got mech finally. Good Axe zoning. Every kill that you guys get at this point is really good, because you're losing. Alright, you're finally pushing a little bit. I like that you're moving your camera a little bit while you hit towers. By the way, you could have done this all game. Just walk somewhere and hit a tower. That guy got fucked up. I would not have Ravaged there. needed a blink there. Looks like you're gonna be fine though. I think your Ravage was maybe a little overkill, but it looks like it worked out okay. Going Shiva's next. I think that's a good idea. Again, Gush into Anchor, always. It's good. It's a good kill. Gush, Anchor. Looks like you misclicked on the map really hard. Gosh, Anchor, damn it. See how you like almost survived there with the mech? If you would have had this buckler the whole time, you probably would have lived. All of those other times, I mean. And then at this point, where you finally get to the point where he's blowing you up with you having mech, you wouldn't have died. If you just hadn't died all those other times. So let's look at your net worth now. You're still pretty low, I would say. Could be a bit better. I would definitely sell Orb of Venom and get your plate mail. Don't miss last hits. I'm guessing you're just gonna sit on it. I'm so confused. What did you buy? Oh, you bought Guardian Greaves instead. It's alright. I think I would prefer the plate mail first, definitely. Just because of the fact that, it gives you a huge amount of survivability. Like, Guardian Greaves is very good, and you can remove, like, silence from yourself, I guess. I guess that's the trade-off. You can break global silence better. Like, right now you could use it. Pop it and Ravage. And then Ravage. You're too late. You messed that up. You're way too slow there. Silence happened now. So at this point, you should be expecting it. Run back right here. Guardian Greaves, look where he is. He gets the Omni Slash off before you even broke the silence from yourself. By the time you finally used it, your global silence is almost gone. Like, if you just would have popped it like right now, both of these guys live. You ravage 4 heroes, and look who came in. But instead, the Omni Slash kills 2 of your heroes, and this is just for your aim to get here. But now it's way over. I mean, even then, I don't know if it would have mattered. You probably still would have lost the fight in this case, but I don't think it even had to be that close. You're gonna anchor before you. Yep, nothing. No surprise here, guys. Gush then anchor, damn it. Hey, you got to kill, but oh, now you died. They herded you into the wolf. Rubik has made a mistake. So the game's pretty much over at this point. If that isn't clear. Hey, you've only got 73 last hits. You're in a 32-minute game, you only have 70 last hits. That's not good. Like, it's good how much you fought, kind of, but you have to also farm in between. And that's why these guys have so many more items than you guys. And that's why they've been winning fights consistently. Delayed mech means you die less because you didn't farm. So let's hop into the next replay here. I think we have enough time. Oh, great, I have to restart. We have enough time to look at your last one in a similar manner, I think. Your next one is a support game, so maybe we won't be spending as much time on that, but the big thing is that the same principles pretty much apply, which is you need to be efficient in the time that you spend. You didn't really do that with your Tide game. Like, you were running around doing things, but you didn't farm creeps efficiently in the downtime between. And I have a feeling we're gonna see the same thing with your Lion game, most likely. All right. Okay, there's your hero. Let's see what you get. 1 observer word. Nope, somebody else bought that for you. You got courier, tango, 2 tangos. No, 1 tango. Sentries. I would get a clarity, maybe 2 clarities, and maybe a smoke. Okay, I'm fine with that. Starting items are a-okay with me.
30 seconds to battle.
Definitely late though. Grab your hero faster. Whoa, what are you doing? Okay, good, you didn't block. But that was huge waste. Like, no reason to put a sentry down if you don't. I don't know if anybody saw or not, but if you didn't see somebody put a ward down, then I don't think putting that sentry down was good. Like, you were late for this rune fight as well. I would give up on this. Go back to safe lane, and I definitely wouldn't have ran that way. I also think that was a huge waste. First of all, your opponent could have been up here and spotted you placing these wards. I think placing this ward normally is fine, but you're doing it at a bad timing. And like by the time you finally put them down because you got into the game so late, now your opponent's already in the lane. This guy's already getting experience. Like by the time you're finally getting there, you're gonna be like level 2. You also pulled this really late again because you left the lane quick or late. What you could have done is pulled it to the right. That was the only way you could have gotten this pull off. I don't know why you walked into melee range. You have a ranged attack. Just attack ranged. So basically we are now 1 minute 10 into the game and you are now starting the game pretty much. This guy's almost level 2. Your jug is taking a whole lot of damage. Oh god, and you missed your stun? Bro, come on. If you should just be reliable, click directly on him. Looks like you misclicked heavily. I think he would have died there. Probably. Maybe not. Possibly not. Okay, yes, he would have died 100%. With him missing that timber chain, he definitely would have died there. Bet you want to dive. It's time to go back and do a pull right now. You're going to probably side pull, but that's a mistake. Actually, no, it's okay. If you do have 53, it's okay. That's fine. You should have gotten all the creeps. I would have done a pull and then a pull through personally. But a side pull like this against a timber is not bad. It's good timing for your clarity potion. Luckily you didn't get it denied. Oh, you did lose it. Gotta be careful about that. Oh, this is... What a dumbass. Okay, you could have pulled that. I don't know where you're going right now. You should have stayed in lane 100%. You could have done a pull right there. And then pulled through and gotten yourself this much experience and maybe this over here as well. But instead you're going back to heal probably because you have no mana. You could have solved that problem either by not getting your clarity potion denied, or you could have grabbed mana drain level 2 if you really want to. Like you still have 2 tangos left, you're going to heal. It's also 3 minutes here, you should be getting the flying courier. Oops, I didn't resume. But this is a huge waste. It's kind of similar to your running across the map thing that you've been doing for Tide. Like you killed the timber saw. He had to respawn and then TP back to lane. And look at him now. Where the heck did he get all this experience from? This is incredible. Okay, so he was level 3 when you killed him, I guess. But look, this is you running back to base, and he's here already. Because you felt like running back to base to get your items, and because you had no mana, this guy's already in lane. Like, you killed him, but then you threw away all of your advantage again because you let him just sit here and farm against the Juggernaut. He's getting experience, getting everything he needs. And you have to TP back to lane now because you ran all the way back to the base. And you didn't even have enough item slots for all of your things. Like, you could have brought... I would have left the smoking base probably for either a clarity or an obs here. So this guy gets like a whole nother level. And it costs you 50 gold. And it costs you a stupid amount of time. That was like 40 seconds or something at least. That you could have done anything else in the game. And you traded it for getting full mana, saving yourself 2 tangos, and having your items instead of having the courier bring them to you. And you still haven't done upgraded courier yet as well. If you get this pull through, then things will be fine. If not, then you are... Okay, looks good. Okay, that was good. This is good. For your skill build that you started off with, I think this is great. You're auto-attacking properly, that's good. I maybe wouldn't have stunned there. I think I would have probably saved it personally, because the one Hellbear was a little low. I think you're fighting over this pretty well. At this point, I would probably swing past and go for the kill. I think you messed up here. Oh, big time. And you wasted a smoke. I think finishing this off with stun is not important, because #1 priority is zoning the timber saw. Right now, you're being too greedy. Like, you're doing a fairly good job getting levels, better than most people that I coach, because you've done a good job pulling, but the time that you've wasted in between has been pretty bad. This part where you killed them and then went back to base, it really set you back, and you getting into lane a little bit late also set you back moderately. But right now, you definitely need to go into lane. This guy got Omni'd here. If you're just here with any disable, you would have killed him. Like, you used smoke, but I don't know why, because you don't have any mana anyways. If you had any mana there, and you coordinated with the Jug, you could have gotten that kill. But you stopped paying attention to your lane. So you can maybe blame the Jug for him not realizing, like, oh, maybe Omni Slash won't be enough. But he probably assumed that you would actually be there. And basically, all you've been doing this game is kind of like jungling. You haven't really contributed to lane very much. You haven't really zoned the Timbersaw. Jug's basically been in a 1v1 this whole game, and he's been getting full experience. You're basically like an AFK jungler. You're pretty much like a jungle legion, which you already have. You have a jungle bloodseeker. So it's kind of like this guy's in a 1v1 matchup, and it's really tough, and you're letting him... You're giving him this like awful matchup. So I think you're kind of dropping the ball. You're doing a good job pulling and giving yourself experience, but sometimes doing a mix between the pulling and the zoning is important. And if you would have brought your observer ward, you could have possibly seen these guys TPing in the lane. It looks like they're doing a rotation. So that could have been good. And other than that, what was the other thing? Yeah, just give up on finishing this camp, rotate over, get a stun going, and this guy dies. Because level 2 stun does decent enough damage. 140 magic damage, and he would have had an Omni Slash, and you guys could have right-clicked him a few more times afterwards. That could have been a kill. And now this guy has to leave the lane, because his HP is too low, because you didn't zone for him. Or he has to bring himself to another set of regen. Like, you're costing this guy money and farm efficiency, because you decided to be a little greedy and right-click the hell out of a Troll Warlord, which is basically hard to kill, or Dark Troll. Like, you can't kill that easily without mana, and you just sat there right-clicking it for a long time. So it's like, you're helping yourself, but you gimped yourself, and you gimped him as well. Let me see your camera perspective here. So you're watching. TP position is okay. I think that was... I would have gone for the Phoenix instead. I thought the Axe is quite dead. Jug has now died, by the way. That was the gank that came to the top lane. I would have dished right away. I think you right-clicking the range creep was just not really worth your time. You're also spending so much time doing this. Let's count the seconds. Alright, I would have warded like right here. You could have warded it here. That would have been at like 36. I don't know. That's alright. I think you wasted way too much time doing that. I think you could have put that ward down and then started moving towards the top lane, personally. Because these guys aren't that high of levels, and you kind of just gave them a free tower. Sort of. You could also get this kill, maybe. Oh, this is actually a really hard thing. Or really hard. And now you absolutely wasted your mana. What's the point of this? Once the Weaver goes back, you don't go in, because you just wasted 245 mana. And now you have to Clarity or use your mana drain. Like, you're not accomplishing your roles anymore. You're kind of playing now like you did on the Tide game, where you just left your lane to go do stuff. But Lion, you can't play Lion like that. Like, if you want to play a hero like that, you should play a roaming hero. You shouldn't play a Lion. Lion is a mix of pulling and laning. Sometimes ganking, but very, very organized ganking. Like, you know that you plus your mid hero is going to kill the enemy off lane, or the enemy mid, and you get a smoke to do it because you approach from the back. Like, it kind of would have worked there against the Axe if the Weaver had a little bit more health, maybe. Then maybe you kill the Axe, but you were kind of late. We can go back and check that as well. So the moment you should have been here. It's basically right there. No, it was earlier. Yeah, actually it was earlier. So this time you ran all the way around. You could have been there right here. This would have been a good time. If you actually hexed him while the bugs were still on him, and the Weaver could slap him from low ground, or even right here would have been okay. Here you are. Right there, that would have been fine. But you're late. You ran all the way around, put the ward down. Like, you have to be faster in everything that you do if you want to raise your MMR with support. And you were truly really slow this game. And you didn't adjust and cover your allies. Like, your Jug lost his safe lane. This is his tower. It's dead at 7 minutes. That's way too early. Now that your opponents can farm all of your jungle, pretty much. And this guy doesn't get a safe lane. And now he can't easily buy items from the side shop. And Timbersaw can do whatever the hell he wants. And that's because you didn't just help the Jug a little bit to kill him once or twice. And because you ditched the lane so fast. Actually affects so much. So you roaming at this point isn't even helping. Because you can't pull anymore. Your ability to get 6 is even gimped. Because you can't do pulls anymore. Like, you letting that tower die kind of messed up everything, to be honest. As well as you going back to base. It puts you so far behind. So there's some things in support that you're doing kind of well, but you're messing up a lot of things as well. You're just doing the wrong things you're doing the right things at the wrong time, is basically what you're doing. And again, you're still showing mid. There's no reason for you to sit here because they know you're here. What you should do instead is look at your heroes and be like, huh, who can I combo with to get a kill? Really easy heroes are Bloodseeker because he can rupture somebody and right click them until they die. You could go with him. You can go with Juggernaut whenever Jug has Omni Slash. You can go with Phoenix to do like Sunray Supernova combos or something like that. I don't know. And you're not accomplishing anything being here mid. Eventually you're TPing top to where the Juggernaut is, but again you're reacting late. You're doing reactionary stuff here. So the only thing giving you levels actually is the fact that Jug is now dead. Because otherwise he would be here. If you're gonna do that, nuke all the waves, all the creeps, not just 3. And don't miss any last hits. It's really important for Lion. You missed 2 right there. And now they're ganking mid, and now you're not there, and you're probably like, well, I just TP top, that's not my fault. But you didn't really need to TP top. And if you would have been there ahead of time, maybe it would have been you guys getting 2 kills instead of Jug getting 1 and dying. Like, you can't really take Lion, I think, and react to ganks the way that you're reacting to them, which has basically been just very lazy. And again, another one of your allies died. Like, look where all the heroes are on the map right now. You basically TP top because you felt you should be here, but now they just rotate over and they pressure a different lane and you're not there. Like, these guys actually don't have any farm. None of them have anything past boots, basically. And if you just would have been there and you killed one of them, you'd hit 6 and then you'd kill the other with your Finger of Death or something. But you're never at the right place in the right time. Like, any of these hero deaths, you can get experience from. And now you're finally moving over to smoke. And you spent all of your gold on a magic stick again and said you should be getting like magic wand, sorry. You should get magic stick and then save for blink probably. Would be better. And here you are again. Late. Again late. And now the fight has ran all the way from here, wrapped all the way around. And you're finally kind of getting here. But you're not going to have the damage anyways because he's got so much reactive. That's just not worth it. Like, you're not going to kill this guy. Lion's damage is not very good. If you were 6, like if you're going to wait that long top, I think you should have just waited until 6 and then moved over. That would have been better. Because you're definitely not going to kill this Timber. There's actually no way. Like, you weren't even close. 190 HP, and he gets reactive armor. Now you just die. You're still level 5. Goodbye. Alright, it worked out well for your team, though. But that's not because of you, really. You accomplished almost nothing there. Alright, and now we're at 10 minutes, and you're just now getting 6. Like, you got your level 4 at, like, 6 minutes or something, or 5 minutes. It was really fast. But the reason it was fast is because you completely ditched any responsibilities of zoning the Timber, and you only pulled. And you did a really good job when you pulled, but occasionally you got to do both. Priority number 1, zone the offlane hero. Priority number 2, pull and get levels. And you just did number 2. And then once you had some levels, you stopped playing support. You basically ditched the safe lane for bad ganks mid. Don't do bad ganks mid. Do good ganks mid. If you do a good gank mid and you get a kill with Weaver, then it's fine. But if you do bad ganks and ditch your safe lane and don't get a kill, then you lose 3 things. You lose the safe lane because Juggernaut gets pressured more. You waste your time, and you also waste a little bit of Weaver's time. And that delays your 6. If you would have had 6 any time in the last 2 minutes, you could have gotten a kill with it, and it'd be off cooldown again, almost. Like, it actually changes so much. And all it basically came down to was coming out of the lane to land an Earth Spike on the Timbersaw when your Jug hit 6, because now you could kill him. And because you missed that window, and you traded it for a Dark Troll and 2 Skeletons, it's not worth it. You could have if you just help Timbersaw die, you'll get the same gold and experience that you did from a Dark Troll and 2 Skeletons. And then you can go kill a Dark Troll and the 2 Skeletons. And it's the same for you going back to base. If you just didn't do those things, your whole game would be different. Completely. But you definitely need to work on your mid-game ganking stuff. You're moving across the map with bad purpose, in my opinion. Like, your KDA for 13 kills on your team, you've only been in 1 of them. That's always what you should look at. If you're like, I wonder if I've done a good job. Look at the scoreboard. Look at everybody else's KDAs. Even this AFK jungling Bloodseeker has been in 3 kills. You've been in 1 kill. Only 1. I don't remember which one that is. Maybe one of the times Timber. Oh yeah, it was the time that Timbersaw came to your large camp where you were farming and died. That was the only kill you've been in the whole game. Every other game, it's just been you dying. No assists. Like, that should say something. You got your 6 late, and you've only been 1 kill, and your team has been there's been 13 kills for your team. Like, that says so much. You're behind in levels, and you haven't contributed well. Like, I personally think Lion is a very high skill support hero. He takes a lot of finesse to play him well, and I think most low level players don't get it because you have to be good at ganking, basically. You have to be good at ganking. You have to really understand where to stand. You have to understand how to use Blink Dagger effectively, from an offensive standpoint without being out of position. Like Lion is just simply a high mana cost hero. His skills are kind of hard to use. If you don't have Finger of Death, he has pretty much low damage. He's just disable heavy, which means you need your allies to back you up, which requires coordination. Like Lion is not a very easy low level hero. You'd be much better off picking somebody like, I don't know, I always say like Vengeful Spirit or something, but maybe there's better heroes than that as well. There's other heroes that are arguably a lot more straightforward than somebody like Lion. Even like Witch Doctor is really, really straightforward. Lich, Shadow Shaman is really straightforward. Bane is really straightforward. Ogre, if you want to play this playstyle, I honestly think you should play roaming heroes like Ogre or something like that, or Bane maybe. Maybe not Bane. Maybe Bane is a little too high level for roam, but Bane is a good roamer. Pick Ogre Magi, go roamer on the map and do shit is what you should be doing if you want to play the way that you play. Tidehunter is kind of a similar problem. If you want to play the way you play, you shouldn't play Tide. You should play Undying. Play heroes that are space creators is how you play right now. That's your playstyle. But you're picking the wrong heroes to do that. Lion is not one of that. So I think we are at our time. So thank you for signing up, David. I appreciate it. I will send you the video. And thanks everybody else for watching. I will catch you later. Bye.